You need a heart, but you'll switch. Play your cards that you deal with. I'm a terror, I flip for my subs, so show me love and we set like Elledge. Everybody should know who I am because you're on my channel. If you don't know who I am, this is Cam from the Yugi-Flow. All right, I'm real committed to this. I'm up early. Okay, I don't have my typical jump right now, but seeing that's who I'm interviewing right now, I'm probably gonna get it halfway through the interview. So why don't you go ahead and let the people know who you are? People on the channel may not come across you.
All right, hello YouTube community. My name is Roy, representing R&S Gaming. We first got our first stint on YouTube due to Rogue Hero. Shout out to him because he featured us on his channel some time ago at a regionals. That's when me and Steve were like undecided on if we want to make a YouTube channel or not, but we were like, what the hell, is our passion, why not? So yes, on behalf of Steve, just representing the channel with him too. But yes, name is Roy, and I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh since like its inception in '02, and then I had a hiatus from the game because at one point our basement got flooded here with my first stint of cards, and I had my cards all on at the bottom of my bed here. Well, I have them in bags now, but under my bed. And that's why the walls look like that, because it flooded that high. Came home and my first set of cards were all around the floor. So threw them away and stopped playing for some years.
I would have cried.
Oh, bro, yes. I had the first ever, like, zombie structure deck and all that other stuff. Was just collecting them and just playing casually at that point. Came home, all my cards, even out of the binders, all on the floor. And I'm like, I threw all of it away and never looked back. And then just started playing video games more often. But I didn't get back into the game until the year when I forgot what year the Yugi Legendary Deck 1 came out. I believe that's 20 something, because it's 2021. I can't even recall the year. But yeah, so I'm Roy. And don't forget, you guys, subscribe to the Yu-Gi-Oh Flow channel and to our channel too, because this is our first collaboration as a micro YouTube channel on both ends. So subscribe to both and keep shouting us out for all our content, because we do this for all of you.
Because a lot of the people that I'm doing these collabs with, actually everyone I'm doing these collabs with, I actually watch their channel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right. I'm actually a fan of theirs. So for yours, my favorite series, so, I don't know. See, there's two things that you guys do as a unit that I love a lot. One is is it Road to 1K? I don't want to mess up the name of it. With your
kids. I had literally just started that about 3 weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah, and honestly, go ahead.
We needed more content to put on the channel rather than deck profiles, because beforehand we were just doing uncut. Like, hey, if something happened at local, someone got a top profile, like one of our players there, Andy, I can't pronounce his last name, shout out to him. He topped it with like ballpark ants, went undefeated one day. And before we started using thumbnails and editing videos like that, Steve does most of the editing. I'm still trying to learn myself. And we would just post them up that day. That's why when you check our profile and you go down our videos, you'll see them, most of the videos without thumbnails and stuff. Like, we were surprised some of the videos hit 1K and 2K, even with mine doing basic cubic combos, because here's one thing I'm not going to say certain Yugi-Tubers names, but certain Yugi-Tubers trigger me when they say, oh, cubics, it's a road deck, yes. And some players have topped with it. I've topped with it years ago, and I have my invites in my closet to prove it. But some players, they'll be like, let me turn the camera around. And if you guys are huge Yugi-Tuber fans, some Yugi-Tubers would say, oh, Endoria, what's the Gundle? I just use these for names. These are unplayable. But you know, that's like a pro prank kid player telling you, oh, you shouldn't use X card because it's a brick. You can use it as a name. If you actually study a deck, or these are not just names. I could get these out on the field. When most people don't know what decks do like this thing can attack 3 times. And this one could attack, well, it can attack, get 24 attack and just burn. But still, it's just the knowledge. I would say that just triggers me when certain Yugi-Tubers, oh, this card doesn't do this. Don't use that card. Or Vijam is a brick. Don't use Vijam. and they didn't study the deck like for like months on end. That's kind of like telling Pac how to shout out to Pac, telling Pac and Robert Creamer, another top ranked kid player in Chicago, Illinois, how to play their deck, or like certain interactions where the deck doesn't work. So like I said, I'm not gonna say any Yugi-Tubers names, not trying to throw any salt. Yes, that's another reason why I started the channel, because when I do stuff like that, how people be like, how do cubits work? How do you get that card out on the field anyway? You should see the channel. I posted the combos about it. But yeah, that's my little rant on that.
No, I feel it. It's kind of like when someone says like, oh, like a sports team. I'm a Raiders fan. All right, so we haven't been doing good for a while. And they'd be like, oh, Derek Carr and this, and they say something about Derek Carr, and it's like, nah, like our defense is the worst. Like you clearly don't watch us play. So it's kind of like the same thing with some of these decks that they talk about, where it's like you clearly don't play the deck. So you're just reading it and being like, there's no way this could be viable. But like, if you played it, you would understand why it's important.
Right. It's like me trying to knock Pac or Robert Creamer about prank kids. Like, well, I saw this YouTuber do this, or I didn't study it long enough to do this combo like this. How do you do it like that? No, I don't like it like that. But it's the time you have to put in. Yeah, we're adults. Some are teens doing better than us on this, but still, it's the time you put in like anything else.
Right.
There's no like interactions. Like one thing I'm trying to do with this deck, I don't know. No, you watch Distant Coder. You watch Distant Coder.
Of course I watch Distant Coder. Yeah.
Know your ruler. I really want him to interview me about cubics on there. And like I believe I left a comment on there. I'm like, I hope you see this, because I would love to do that for cubics. Because like,
yeah, it definitely seems like you want to be the poster boy for cubics. And I respect it, because again, I have not seen a single person play cubics but you in your road to 1K. So can you go ahead and explain to me of why is this deck so important to you? Like what? Because it seems like it's just more than your favorite deck. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you got a personal. You like forget all them YouTubers who hate cubics, and I feel it. I love that passion. Explain to me where that passion comes from.
Okay, now that's the right for any YouTuber, because here's one thing I also want to stress before I answer that question. Because you do know, like, since we're micro channels, it's going to be hard for us to, like, blow up soon with the subscribers and stuff. So any viewer watching this, please, like, when certain YouTubers make a video saying, either clickbait, oh, tier 1, guy broken, yada, yada, yada. Please think on your own first. Think on your own. A YouTuber may say, oh, this card isn't good in that deck. Then a couple of months later, oh, I was wrong. Some will admit it. Some YouTubers will admit it. Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong, even on market watches. Go with play for yourself.
Wait, you're hearing a lot of them say they was wrong?
Some YouTubers would say they were wrong.
Because I didn't see them say this card is not playable in this deck, and then it becomes a popular card in the deck, and they're like, yeah, you have to have this card. And I just be like, all right.
That's exactly what I'm alluding to. Like, as you guys can see, I got my deck core here. No matter how many formats we go through this in Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'm still going to play this. It's in a binder now. But, yeah, I'm going to still play it regardless. I know most people don't know what it could do and stuff, but back to the question. My love for Cubits came. So, Steve came back from the Army. Other friend were part of the channel. We were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I was just playing with the Yugi Legendary deck. I remember going to locals for the first time. I didn't know how locals work because I was such a casual Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. I remember the first deck that I brought there was Blue Eyes. When the movie pack came out, were you playing Yu-Gi-Oh! When the Dark Side of Dimensions first movie pack came out?
Dark Side of Dimensions was the one where you got was it like the Sphinxes or something like that? Like there was like 3 of them?
No, that's Pyramid of Light. So basically I forgot when Dark Side of Dimensions came out. Hold on. Let me just almost feel, I'm sorry.
Hey, look, I would have had to put it in there. Okay? I would have had to put it in there.
Just literally got all of these just for nostalgia.
I just binge watched the whole Dragon Ball series like a year ago.
I'm reading it and
all the way through Super.
Here it is right here. So my love for the movie, for Cubits, came out with this movie, and there it is. So you said my love for Cubits. Yes, it birthed like going at locals. I was playing a Blue Eyes Day with Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, and I'll never forget it. Casual player going to locals for the first time. Never been to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament a day in my life. I didn't know how rounds work. I was just so used to playing casual. You know when you're a casual player, and I'm not gonna lie, just like you get, and you don't know anything about the game that you thought you knew, and you just get watched that whole day and just have to smile. Good game, getting watched, and some players just like some are kind of like how you said how you help the person at your locals, and then there's some that's just so arrogant they'll watch you just like ignore you, pick up their stuff and go. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. I played against, I don't know if you know this top player, Anthony R. I can't pronounce his name. He's a top Alter Guys player, Anthony A.
Oh wait, before we go any further with Alter Guys, hey, I don't know if you've heard me say this or not, but Alter Guys is the one deck I can't beat, and you just gave me a little nightmare chill when you said Alter Guys player. Okay, I can't beat him.
The nightmare. I mean that deck. I love the deck, and I just hate playing against it. So, Anthony A. At the time, I was playing Cubic. No, let me go back to the question. Love for it. I was first time going to locals. Bought a Blue Eyes deck. I didn't know anything about deck building at the time. I just built it for fun. Went to locals. Now this is the short version. Got washed in the tournament the whole day. I'm not gonna lie, I felt salty because I thought I knew how to play Yu-Gi-Oh until I went to locals the first time. Steve, he had some experience, and yeah, we just got
beating all your friends, thinking you was about to just go do the same thing to locals, and it don't go like that.
Yeah. Because and then like we met so many great people there, and it was so like cool. So I'm like, what deck do I want to play, man? Because I'm watching. That's when I started watching YouTube more too. I watch CMO videos. People say, "Oh, top 5 meta decks, top 5 budget decks." I would just watch those videos. I'm like, man, what deck do I want to play? I was scrolling through a video. I guess it was pre-release about Cubits in the Dark Side of the Dimensions movie. I'm like, Cubits. I see the video of Crimson Nova. Person special summoned it attack twice and burn at the end phase. Gee, I'm like, who played that deck in the movie in this new movie coming out? So I never did see Dark Side of the Dimensions in theaters. That's why I have it on DVD. But yeah, that's how I fell in love with you. Is over because of seeing like Crimson Nova on there, and I didn't know how the deck worked. I'm like, what pack does this come out of? The movie pack. So I found my identity in getting more into like switching from a casual to competitive, or in between both, through that deck. And I fell in love with that deck since then. Now here's a quick story. It was while I was still transitioning from like casual to competitive. I'm like still in between anyway now, due to the knowledge of the game. But I played against Anthony A. Shout out to him. I played against him with my Cubit deck. I didn't realize he was a top player. Like I'm dead ass. You look up Agent Persuasion channel. He's featured on there. Who other channels? Rogue Heroes. Because recently Rogue Hero, shout out to Chris, because he go there now more. That's a different story now. Different story, different time because of my job. That's why I can't. That's why me and Steve don't go there Saturdays because of our new jobs. But Anthony A. If you guys remember when True Draco came out, that format, I too old Anthony A with Cubics at the time, and I didn't know he was a top player. He was like, man, I'm like, good game, bro, good game, man. Like when I say he was filming, he was like, didn't want to shake hands. I'm like, what did I do? Okay, you can't take a loss, and I'm like, what's his deal? But then ever since then, and then people telling me in the shop, oh, you beat Anthony A with Cubics too old. And I'll never forget it. Never forget it. Ever since then, he's been wide. You know, He beat my butt more often consistently, but I'll still beat him too.
You beat you beat him with cubics, okay?
Right. And then that's another thing. And that's another thing we're gonna have to talk about top players in the community. Because that can after that experience, I'm like, why? Wait, it's a card game. I'm here to have fun. I'm saying, yeah, I'm here to have fun and collect my points. But yeah, that's when I really took a love to Cubits. I'm like, this deck, gee, yes, I'm in love with it. So that's how Cubits came into my life. Long story short,
You know, while we're here, what is you and Steve's relationship?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you guys how we met. Let me finish showing you this tour real quick. No, I can say it while I'm showing you the tour. So me and Steve, we met in grammar school. We met over Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So,
okay,
I'll never forget it. We met over Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It was recess time, something like that. And look at this beauty here.
That looks dope.
Yeah, I got the current one too. It's in my other closet, but I don't feel like going out there. Let me turn this back around. So me and Steve, almost turned off the light. Me and Steve, we met over Yu-Gi-Oh cards in grammar school. I'll never forget it. I had a 1,000 Dragon. I was trying to collect all 3 blue eyes like I saw from the first episode of Yugi. I'm like, I want all 3 blue eyes. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get all 3 copies of blue eyes. So it was probably either recess or before we went inside the school. And you remember like growing up little in elementary school when everyone had Yu-Gi-Oh cards, then we didn't put them in sleeves and stuff. We carried them in our pockets and stuff in class, showing them off. You remember?
Yeah. We was in junior high school just raw dogging it with our sleeves. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm like, I need my 3 blue eyes. I forgot how many I had. So I walked up to Steve. I'm like, hey, you play Yu-Gi-Oh? He was like, yeah, I got my cards on me now. I'm like, cool. I got my cards on me too. This is so bad. So I think he had just gotten into Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that. Wasn't even sure. I'm like, hey, let me see your cards. You want to trade? Sure, let's trade. I mean, you do remember those days back in the day before like trading is now? Like you could just trade no matter the value of the card. Like here, I want this, I want that. Cool. Give me no price check or nothing.
It was more based off of the popularity in the anime. If it was popular in the anime, like it was like, oh, this card must be worth a lot. We didn't know.
That's all good.
Met him. You swindled him out of his blue eyes. I'm assuming that's where the story was.
Oh right, yeah. I had 1,000 Dragon looking for blue eyes. He didn't have that much knowledge of the game. I'm like, hey, can I trade you for your blue eyes? Here, I got this 1,000 Dragon. It's strong. He like, sure. Got the blue eyes. I dipped on him. He took the 1,000 Dragon and then we talk about it all the time. We like, bro, you remember how we met? He was like, yeah. Should beat your ass. You cheated me out of a blue eyes like Dragon for 1,000 Dragon.
Dang, you took his blue eyes.
Yes, but he got me back. So let me tell you how he got back. So once when the Yugi Legendary deck came out and we were getting ready to go to locals for the first time, I didn't know anything about the meta. I didn't know what deck was trending, what decks to look out for. I was just putting the deck together. Let's go. He came back to the army. Now, you saw my whole collection with the 27 binders. He came back from the army because he followed the meta through there coming back. I didn't know what kaijus did. I had kaijus. I had staples, pendulums, everything. He was like, hey, let me trade you for this. I'm like, looking through his stuff, getting casual stuff. Like, am I going to get this deck? I don't know. I'll take that card. He's like, let me get this kaiju. Let me get this kaiju. Let me get this pendulum card. And this was when monkey board was legal. I think I had a monkey board. I think I had a monkey board or something. Let me get this. Let me get that. And then after we came from locals, that's when I started watching the SEMO videos and meta discussions and stuff. And I looked through my collection. I'm like, wait, that's a card I traded with Steven a couple of days ago. That's a card I traded with Steven a couple of days ago. I called him. I'm like, oh, you ain't shit. Gee, how dare you? Like, you remember what you did to me when we first met? I'm like, oh, yeah. well, that's payback. I'm like, bro, I didn't know about the meta or anything like that. You get all of our stable cards. I thought Solemn Strike was weak. I thought Solemn Judgment was weak. I'm like, here, okay, I want this. I want that. Yo, Judgments, give me all of them speed spell threes. I'm like, like I said, I looked through my collection. He emptied me out, G, like a pimp with a horse. All my staples, and they ain't know because I didn't know what a kaiju did until we playing it. He doing it with me, kaiju and me. I'm like, that's what that card do. I'm like, let me read it.
That whole paragraph of text, be like, oh my gosh, what?
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's what Solemn Strike and Judgment do. I'm like, give me my stuff back. Let me trade it back. He was like, no, you agreed to it. You got all that casual stuff in that, and even with the cards I have, never put the decks together. He watched me out coming back from the army. I'm like, oh man, all my staples are gone now. I gotta buy all this stuff again.
Oh no! Hey, tell Steve if he watched one of my videos and he feels disrespected that I am sorry, because if he's holding grudges like that, I don't want to be on. I don't want to be on his bad side. He holding year-long grudges.
And it didn't hit me till he brought it up. He was like, yeah, you remember what you did to me when we met with my blue eyes? I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, okay. We cool, because I agreed to the trade. I agreed to the trades, and I was casual. He knew. I was casual. I'm like, what a
that's the tables.
Because, like, back then, I'm like, I'm not giving up my life points to do none of that stuff. I want to hold on to my life points. But again, I wasn't knowledgeable without a speed.
I thought it was stupid.
A counter track. Right. Until you sit across the table playing, I special summon. Okay, strike. And they look at you like, you got anything else? No. And you proceed to get your ass kicked. And that was me.
I done lost a match where I had someone down to 100 points playing Prank Kids. And lost. Just ran out of resources.
Oh my God.
I lost a driver game, they had 500. But yeah.
And then, like, here's the thing, though. This is why I said about, like, having to grow as a player once you take losses and stuff like that. Because even before Steve came into the picture, I would always play against my cousin. Like, we're all adults now. He don't even play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like that. He just hold on to his cards. I'm still be trying to not bribe him. I'm still trying to buy his collection off my cousin. And I used to play with my cousin a lot growing up. He would always beat me. No matter he came to visit. I'm like, let's play. Screw the video games. Let's play Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll never forget the first time I beat him. I forgot what deck I used, but like took the life points down on paper. I was so happy. I went to show my mama. I'm like, Mama, look, I finally beat my cousin in a duel. Now, fast forward with me and Steve. When he got back from the army, and I tell you how much of a casual player I was, like when I said he sucked me dry out of all my staples, and we started playing, he would always beat me up until I believe the first time I beat Steve in a duel. The deck I used for when Monarchs came out, because he was playing. What other deck came out when Monarchs came out? No, Pendulums, I believe. Yeah, he was using Pendulums, and I believe, and I was using Monarchs, and I beat him that first time. I'm like, I finally beat you. I don't care how many losses I take. I'm just happy I finally beat you. Okay, so me, personally, as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, I do not like running 40-card decks. I feel like running 40-card decks for me is too small. The most I would run in a deck are between 41 to 43. That's just my reasoning, and that's me. I love, like, with a 43 to 41 or 42 card deck, when you draw your starting 5, I like to have that extra 3, if you know what I mean.
No, I run 42 a lot.
Mm-hmm. I have a hand trap, a starter, extended for the deck, and all of that stuff. So for my cubic deck, I run at 41. 18 monsters, 19 spells, and 4 traps. So I played 2 Ash Blossoms in this deck. Play Ash simply because I want to Ash Blossom a Red Eye Dragoon or just any random rogue deck I'm playing against. I play 1 Buster Gundle because this is, aside from Crimson Nova, this is also a game-ending card too. He can, when you should be 3 cubic monsters for him, he gains 3k and can attack 3 times. So that's what card your opponent is going to have to read. And yeah, this card is beautiful. I played 3 Crimson Novas, the Dark Cubic Lord, Win condition of the deck. I play 2 Dinko Sekka for back row decks, Altergeist, Eldritch Invoke, etc. 3 Doozas. This is a starter. Helps you get the deck rolling and send your cubic spells and traps to the grave. I played 2 Phantasmes because there was this other guy that topped with cubics not too long ago that MCO 40 had featured on his channel. He was playing like Gamma and stuff, and he played Phantasme in the deck. I'm like, why am I not playing Phantasme? But Phantasme is also meta dependent and local dependent and all that other stuff.
Exactly.
I keep Phantasme in there because it allows me to draw into my pieces and set them back into the deck.
So let me ask you this question about the Phantasmes, because I am noticing this stream with people. Your hand trap ratios is 2-2, and I know Danko's not a hand trap, but it's a utility card. It's a tech card. Can you explain to me why you're using the ratio of 2 instead of the typical 3?
Yeah, I want to see more of my cubic names, to be honest. I want to end them with my cubic deck and the 2/2 hand trap. I don't want to see them that much. I honestly do not want to see them that much. If I could play the deck without hand traps, depending on the format, I would just X them out completely. But I feel like Phantasme has to stay. Ash could go, but Phantasme helps me draw and replace cards that I don't need because it can help me get into a Mystic Mind if my opponent has a huge board set up, or it can help me go into a Pot of Extravagance. Now, Dinko could also be another hand trap, but I consider Dinko like a main card for Cubic because Cubics suck with back row. You saw them strike, you saw them judgment on me. It's over. Even though I could special summon multiple Crimson Novas, but you get rid of them like that, or you judgment Dooza. My only normal summon, technically 2 with Dingo, but the main normal summon of the deck, Dooza, you get rid of that, and I can't send the rest of my cubic cards to the graveyard. Then I'm honestly screwed. I'm just gonna be looking across the table like, well, game 2.
You gotta do that awkward handshake.
Yeah. So that's my reasoning for Phantasme, and that's also my reasoning for Dinko, because it's like when I play against Eldritch or any other back row deck, I can slap Dinko down. You can't do nothing. Reveal my 3 cubic cards, special summon Dooza, and use cubic wave to boost double the attack and cut their monster attack in half. That's game right there, depending on the deck. You can shut out Salaman Greats, you can shut out Sky Strikers, you can shut out Altergeist, Eldritch. If they don't have a Gamma or anything else to stop Dinko with Crimson Nova, you're dead. Dinko and Nova, you're dead. You can't get through it. So that's my reason for Dinko.
Okay.
And / Phantasme. Play 1 Gear Guile. This is for the burn effect and also for the trap effect with unification. And another name. I play 1 Endoria, again, similar to Buster Gundle. If I'm able to get it out and have the resources to get it out, I can. It takes 3. What does it say? Send a 3 cubic monsters you control to the grave and can't be special summoned other ways. If it's summoned that way, it gains 24. And then if it's special summoned, you also burn your opponent for 8. So it's another form of burning them, just like this one here. Burn them for 8, burn them for 8. Now here's another favorite card. Bijam, the Cubic Seed. When it's set in attack, it can't be destroyed by battle. When your opponent attacks into it, you can put in a spell and trap card zone and put a cubic counter on your opponent's monster. Monsters with cubic counters cannot attack and their effects are negated. You could essentially sit on this, but you also use Bijam in tandem with Unification and Dooza. Okay. So in tandem with Unification and Dooza and Karma, you can essentially get Endoria out. You can get Buster Gundle out using Dooza and the Bijams. Dooza and your Bijams help you generate these 2. And these 2 are playable if you're an experienced cubic player. So every deck has a playable card, even certain cards that people say are unplayable, or, oh, this card sucks because I'm a big Yugi-tuber and I know what I'm talking about. But that's their opinion. Yeah. I play 2 Dharmas. So with Dharma, this is another draw card in the deck. If I control a cubic monster and my cubic monster battles my opponent monster battle while I have a cubic monster with this card on the field, I take no battle damage. You take no battle damage from attacks involving your cubic monsters. Then it has 2 effects. I can send 1 cubic card from my hand to the grave and draw 1. And then I could banish this card to target 1 cubic monster in my graveyard and add it from my grave to my hand. So I played 3 cubic karmas. Now this is the game-ending card. Now when most people talk about cubic karma with their profiles, oh, I just use cubic karma. Again, that's their opinion, or they're not too knowledgeable of the deck, but it just leaves that sour taste in my mouth.
Right.
They'll say, paraphrasing here, oh, I just use cubic karma to send it to the grave, get my cubic piece. Hey, that's you. Me, I'm using this thing like a whore. I use it for everything. I'm milking it like a cow. So cubic karma, you target 1 cubic monster you control, accept the seed, and then that you target 1 cubic monster you control, except Vijay on the cubic seed. That monster gains 800 attack for each seed you send from your hand and or deck to the graveyard. So when you use cubic karma on Nova, that will put him permanently at 5,400. So because he is going to gain 8, 16, 24 on top of 3K permanently.
Oh, nah.
So, yeah, that's the first effect most people don't use or talk about because they some of them are so worried about, oh, just bad as shit to add up cubic feet. Now, with this card, you can also cut your opponent's life points down in half, and I can show that combo too. So it says, let me go back to it. During your opponent's turn, if Vijay on the cubic seed is special summoned by the effect of a cubic monster, send this card to the graveyard. Well, it has a, you send this card to the graveyard if you do half your opponent's life points. I know how to do that. I know how to use all of these effects for this card. And that effect in itself is useful too. 3 cubic waves. Short story short, you target 1 cubic monster you control, it doubles that attack permanently. And then halves the attack permanently of one of your opponent monsters. You can also banish this card from your graveyard and any number of cubic monsters. Let's say you have 3 monsters on the board or 2. I banish cubic wave, a Nova in my graveyard with a Buster Gundle. Put 2 cubic counters on your monsters. Can't attack and their effects are negated. Boom. 3 Foolish Burial to help me send Unification to the grave. Unification helps me get into Buster Gundle and Endoria, and it helps me recycle Medusa. And this also helps you link climb too. I have to play 3 Mystic Mine in a main. I play that simply because if I'm going second, I want to use these as bait. Like most people are either siding their spells and traps or they're not. So if they have a huge board and I didn't see any hand traps in my starting hand, slap Mystic Mine, they either respond to it and scoop or they don't. It's up to them.
There's really only so many options once you throw that Mystic Mine down. You know what the vibes are.
Mm-hmm. I play Pot of Extravagance because I don't care about the extra deck to a degree. And yeah, that just helps me draw more into my pieces. And I'm playing this one at 41. I was going to play it at 43, but I just kept it at 41. Twin Twisters for back row hate. Obviously, Tri-Brigade. Like I said, even with Dinko, just to get back row out the way, because this deck hates. This back row kills this deck. Now, Cubic Ascension. So when my opponent attacks, I can special summon 1 Vijam from my deck. And then that monster that's attacking it attacks Vijam. And then Vijam, use this effect to put that counter on that monster. So you can also, change the attack target, perform damage count. If your opponent's life points are at least 2K higher than yours, you get to banish the card to special summon 1 Vijam to Cubic Seed from your hand, deck, or grave. And then if your opponent controls a monster, you get to special summon 2 more. So essentially, you're setting these 3 right back up on the field, and they can't be destroyed by battle. And if you have 3 with this in your hand or that in your hand, you can just get them out that way too. That's why I only play 1, because these 3, Unification and Cubic Ascension, helps you get these 3 out. Buster Gundu, and Endoria. Now, for the Cubic Ascension and then Unification. I really wish Cubics had more support for the Fusion, because the Fusion card is overpowered. It's so broken. And if we had a way to get into the Fusion quicker with this deck, like a Fusion spell, kind of like Red Eyes Fusion rather than attack, this card here is broken. And I just threw this in just to have it in there just for references and just in case I'm able to do it. But you basically use Unification link climb. If a face-up cubic monster is destroyed by battle or leaves the field, you can banish this card to special summon one level 4 Lord cubic monster from your hand or deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. And if you do, it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects that turn. So you send this to the graveyard, your opponent kills this, you banish this from the grave, and you special summon this. And then if they attack that, Endoria or Buster Gundle, and that's how you get these out, people that wasn't aware. You recycle the ones in your graveyard. Like if you have 2 of those and 1 of them, you bring out at least those 3, and you get to it says if this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card by battle or card effect, you target up to 3 cubic monsters in your graveyard, special summon them, then you can add 1 cubic card from your deck or grave to your hand, so you can add them back to your hand. Have the buy jams out that can't be destroyed by battle. Your turn, you tribute them. 3K, attack 3 times. Boom.
So that's game. You get an open lane with that. It's all bad.
Yeah, that's why most people got to read these cards, and then you can embarrass certain decks with this. I side 3 Lanciers for Trivegate Zoo, Dinos, and probably other road decks. Drove for simply because of Drytron. Ghost Bell to negate Gamma too. I hate getting Gamma. Dark Hole. Yes, the Gamma with this, with Cubics. Oh yeah. Game 2, bro, I'm just gonna here, you can sign a match slip. Dark Hole to clear a board, Lightning Storm to clear back row or a board, right? Geki just to clear a board and evenly match. So I can either give up a battle phase, clear the board that way, draw into my pieces, and boom. Play the Crimson Nova, the Dark Trinity. This is the hardest card for the deck. And like I said, if they had new support to get this out quicker, this deck probably would get more. I'm actually happy this deck is rolled, because if they had a way to turbo this out, then the deck probably would be kind of like Prank Kids a little.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you think about Dark Magician decks, what's about to happen to them once they get tired and ban Dragoon or Anaconda? Is gonna mess up their whole. Like for me, I'm just gonna go to the next best thing. For them, this is gonna kill their decks, and I think you'll do the way if you could turbo it out like that.
Oh yeah, most people may be playing the deck if it had a way to turbo this out, because this thing ends games. Like must be fusion summoned with the above cards and can't be special summoned by other ways. Because at first I thought you could Waken in the Dragon is, but you can't, because it can't be special summoned by other ways. So it cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. When this card declares an attack, you have your opponent's life points right there. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it can make a second attack. And if I take damage, inflict that damage to your opponent. But yeah, it's a quick ender. I played out 3 of these, the Entity list, because I was making Cubic Dogmatica, and I would just use that to using the Deer Servant to fit into the gate. Yep, just a free pop and a free pattern wasting the gate. Super Poly target, because I thought about using that Dark Hole as Super Poly. So I have Elvish and Mago and the Lord 5-headed Dragon. Mechaba with Cyber Dragon for Dogmatica. Predaplant, Access Code Talker. I need to get one at IRL.
I gave up on that. The way that shot up in price, I should have got it when it was a little cheaper. It's all good.
Man, you and me both. Steve has one. He don't be playing around. He got it. He either gonna trade or buy it. Code Talker, Nightmare Package, Topologic Bomber Dragon to blow up the main monster board, and Zero Boros because of the banish.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Nah, thank you for coming, for sure.
All right. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Best. I don't fail shit, I don't rest. Or scoop a brick, I won't let you take a win, that's 2-0. Move slow when I combo, that's Dragon Link. Pass turn, no need to think. The world I'm in is virtual, where the sky's Ojama pink.